posted election results.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was
Wall Street bitch, we are live. Welcome to another episode of
the Baptize
the
machine.
Baptize Machine podcast.
I like being virtual.
Yeah, it's kind of nice once in a while. It's always nice
Yeah,
to see you in person, though.
except I don't have a mic.
I know. Well, you'll have it after we interview Valdemar in the hot tub. Yeah,
Yeah,
shout
everyone
out.
stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing
Yeah,
a hot tub interview. The three of us in a hot tub.
and shout out to Valdemar for being super cool about that. That guy's like the most down politician probably running for Congress right now.
Yeah, if you're in the Denver area, even if you're not Republican, I feel like you would find a lot of alignment with this guy just because it's hard to find an honest, down to earth politician, regardless of the party. And that's the feeling that we have about Valdemar. So,
Yeah, I mean, he might not know the answers to everything, but he seems genuinely willing to try. And I
exactly.
mean, also he's down to like listen to the community and put the community first over partisanship politics, which is good.
Yeah, I think that's his biggest strength is he actually cares about making Denver better.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He's a great guy. Sorry, I just I hit the noise on our live stream. It's looking a little better, less delayed than last week. And we'll be putting this episode out on Spotify and YouTube and everything again, making some clips.
Nice.
What's new with you? We got two great
Let's go
guests
over.
lined up today.
Yeah, let's go over our guests today.
Yeah, so our first guest, he's goes on Twitter as the real AZ Matt. I'll share my screen really quick with you so you can see who I'm talking about. This is him. He's the founder and CEO of American Daily Press, or at US Daily Press on Twitter. I think it's a conservative media wing. He's in Kentucky right now. I'm not sure why. But yeah, I think he's trying to start a relatively new media company they started in 2020. I'd be curious kind of like the differences between him and other conservative, because it seems like there's like way more conservative small papers websites going out now, at least on Twitter, than there's liberal ones or democratic ones.
And it's a crowded space to get into. I mean, to start a paper or a media outlet in this day and age, well, I guess you have more opportunity to get stuff out there. But I feel like
Yeah,
everyone is their own personal media outlet, so it's sort of hard to compete.
yeah, and so it looks like actually they say they try to be as unbiased as possible, and free opinions. I think they do like a lot of editorial articles. They are tweeting a lot about like this Ronald Reagan movie. I think Josh Brolin's in it.
Oh
Or
yeah.
Dennis Quaid. They look very similar. I
You
wonder
know,
what that got on Rotten Tomatoes.
we should watch the preview to that The Apprentice, that Trump movie. I know
Mm-hmm.
Trump was angry about it, but it looks like a masterpiece to me. Um,
Whoa,
especially
this is
young
we,
Trump.
dude. This is super weird because on Rotten Tomatoes, the website, it says they got a 98%
What?
verified rating. Which means it's really good. Like it's out of 100.
The
But
Reagan
then,
movie?
yeah, the Reagan movie. But then
Huh.
the critic consensus is like 18%. So this is all
Interesting.
non-critics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it hasn't been out enough because is it even in
And
theaters?
look at the audience reviews. Dennis Quaid played a great part. We really enjoyed the movie. MAGA. So it's definitely just like A bunch of like
Interesting.
Trump supporters probably writing critic reviews to make it look awesome, even
I
because like
I don't think we can't see your screen,
you can't see
or
my
maybe
screen.
I can see that your Twitter, so maybe
Oh,
that's
I
it.
have to hold on. Let me I haven't shared too much on this. I have to switch. Yeah, Reagan. All right, now you can see it. So like all the critics are like kind of saying it sucks, and then if you look at like the fan reviews, they're like this deserves an Oscar. And I know the critic and fan reviews differ a lot on Rotten Tomatoes movies, but this is like pretty dramatic, especially this one.
Wait, so am I mixing this up? The professional critic review gave it a 98, but the fan review gave it an
No,
18?
other way
Other way
around.
around.
Audience fan
Okay, okay.
review gave it 18 total average, and then, or sorry, 98, and then the critics gave it
Gave it
18%.
an 18. Yeah, I feel like with a political movie like this, Reagan fans are just going to give it 5 stars.
Yeah, and then
What?
the one negative Twitter review. This movie is whitewashing Hitler. Reagan literally negotiated with Iranian terrorists and convinced them to keep American hostages. Also, Jimmy Carter would lose the election. Interesting take.
Wow. You should go to the reviews on The Apprentice, the Trump movie.
All right, let's see it.
I really want to see that, and I feel like MAGA will take it as an insult, but I think it looks genius.
Yeah, so this one's kind of more aligned. Critics say 81, fans say 84%. So like that's how it's usually close like that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the guy from the Marvel movies plays him too.
Yeah,
The
and
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
the guy from Succession plays Roy Cohen, his infamous lawyer, and
Oh,
apparently it's very, very accurate
Kendall.
to the mannerisms and the life of young Trump.
Huh. Should we watch the trailer?
Yeah.
So this is the trailer for The Apprentice. Whoa. Sorry, that was really loud.
Yes.
Hello, this is Donald Trump from Mr. Cohn. Thank you so much.
Donald who?
Roy Cohn, nice to meet you.
The Roy Cohn. You're brutal.
Guilty as charged.
How do you always win?
There's rules. The first rule is attack, attack, attack.
It's going to be the finest building in the city, maybe the country, in the world.
Rule 2, admit nothing, deny everything.
There's never been anything like this, of this magnitude, this quality. Ooh, cheese balls over here.
What are you doing?
You want one?
No, it looks totally disgusting.
Cheese balls.
Rule 3, no matter what happens, you claim victory and never admit defeat. You have to be willing to do anything to anyone to win. You have a big ass. You got to work on that.
Your face looks like an orange.
Attack, attack, attack.
Deny everything.
Admit nothing.
Never admit defeat.
What if you lost your fortune today?
Well, then maybe I'll run for president. I don't know.
I say, if you're indicted, you're invited.
His impression actually sounds like young Trump. Like young Trump didn't really have that, the voice that Trump has today.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna see it.
We're sorry if our video is a little choppy. That's up to Elon Musk to fix.
Yeah.
His
Elon.
live stream isn't perfect. Like after we record the video, it comes out really on top of it, but then I don't know, it seems like a second or two behind when we're actually live streaming on this platform. And I'm right next to my router. I got real fast internet. Not sure.
Do you see Trump just got picked up in a dump truck? In a garbage truck?
Why?
You should play that video.
Okay.
Because Biden called his supporters garbage. And everyone's crying about
awesome. Hold on. This looks like a really funny clip. Matt from the U.S. like Daily Press or whatever it is said he'll probably be like 5-10 minutes late. What are you drinking, Wall Street bitch?
Drinking water, but honestly, I might go get a beer.
You should.
Yeah,
I'm
be
gonna
right
play
back.
this Trump garbage clip. So here we go. Trump is in Green Bay, Wisconsin in a garbage truck.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala
Oh, and it has a Trump sign on the side of the truck.
and Joe Biden.
After the Puerto Rican comments from Kill Tony, where Biden said that all Trump supporters are Republicans. That's hilarious. He is so ridiculous.
If that comment by Tony Hinchcliffe actually loses Trump the election, that would be crazy and maybe well deserved, honestly. Because
Did you see what Jon Stewart said about Tony Hinchcliffe? I thought it was pretty surprising for him. Sorry, I totally butchered his name.
sort of,
But
I saw him say something. But basically, he didn't think it was that big of a deal.
yeah,
And I guess I agree with him, except like this is a political rally, you know?
mm-hmm. This is
Now,
what he
obviously, in
said.
retrospect, having a roast comedian come to a political rally a week before Election Day and roasting a key voting demographic, probably not the best decision by the campaign politically. But to be fair, the guy's really just doing what he does. I mean, bringing him to a rally and have him not do roast jokes, that'd be like bringing Beyonce to a rally and not have... Oh.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently on Twitter, there's a huge controversy about Beyonce not performing at like one of Kamala's events.
Well, I think that's why a lot of people went to that rally. It was a massive rally in Houston. They thought Beyonce was going to perform. I don't know why they thought that. But yeah, she just came out and said, I'm not here in the context of a celebrity, and made just a short speech. Apparently, there's a lot of boos.
Well, I guess she doesn't have any upcoming U.S. dates. She's like in Europe.
Who, Beyonce? She's fleeing because of the Diddy thing.
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but not until... Oh, you can't... Her website's crazy, dude. You can't even find the tour date. Look at this shit. It's
Put it
wild.
up. I'm going to go grab a beer.
All right, do it. So this is Beyonce's tour website. It's like totally wild. Like I just clicked on Philadelphia because I was trying to get the date. Here, we'll just do Atlanta now. Okay, like where do I get the date to this show? Am I supposed to hear some, like see some hidden messages? Also, like what do most people see on this robot? Like are these Captain America shields or are they big metal robot boobs? And is she like predicting the future of people's sex lives being with robots? I don't know, dude.
It's all a secret message admitting to the Diddy controversy.
Look at this robot.
Well,
you could milk the gasoline right out of that.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know, man. But look, you click on a date, right? Like Detroit, and it just shows you crazy pictures. And there's no date. Look at this
her
one.
Upcoming tour?
This is a Diddy reference right here if I've ever seen one. I'm not even zooming in. This is like normal size.
How is it a Diddy reference?
Because, dude, the lube on her chest. Look at all that KY jelly right there.
True.
Yeah. This is crazy. Well, honestly, we don't know when she's playing because it just lets you scroll through pictures forever.
It's supposed to be a secret. You're supposed to read between the lines.
Oh, this is like until 29-27. So her next show is not until When is 29? Like, what does that mean? 29, 20. What month is 29?
Maybe it's
Oh, it's a 0. So September 27th was her last show. So I guess it's all happening this year. That wasn't too long ago. Like a month ago? I don't know, man.
anyway. That's
This
why
is
a lot of
wild.
people went to the Kamala rally. This whole election, I mean, this sort of started with Obama, but just like it's just getting more and more dumbed down. People started attacking Obama for the dumbest shit. Then when Trump came in, now the whole election has basically whittled down to he said, she said, dumbass name calling.
Mhm.
And maybe that's the future of politics in America, but I hope not. And it's just fueled by social media, honestly.
Yeah, so here's
Should
our
see-
first. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say you should see the dumbass arguments that go on daily on Twitter. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this is the American Daily Press website, who the CEO Matt will be coming on.
Nice.
So here's their latest topics: the Reagan movie, Trump and Harris battle for key swing states, greatest conservative movies. We should ask about that. Why I enjoy smoking cigars. I'd be interested to ask him about marijuana. I ripped a bong for the first time in a long time today.
Ah, I didn't know you were taking a break.
Well, I just, haven't had one. Moving in with the lady. Can't smoke indoors anymore, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been a long time coming. Oh, here's a guest we might get on. Isabella Maria DeLuca and Bikini Gate.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
What's Bikini Gate?
I think because she, posted in a bikini. Let's see.
And that's bad?
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah, why do the weird Christian... I wonder if he's a Christian, if this is, Christian conservative. Let's see some of the opinion. Oh, that's cute. They love dogs. I'm about that.
We can't see.
Oh, she deleted an X post.
We can't see what you're looking at.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for letting me know. This is why I can't do this alone. This is the picture. That's pretty controversial.
That's what got her.
And I guess she deleted a post. They won't even show us the deleted post. Let's Google it. Oh, they don't. Wow, that's the first thing to come up on X.
And how is she tied into this guy?
He just wrote an article about her. Oh, she was arrested in March. Let's see if we go to images. I think this was the post. Oh no, maybe this was it, the one she deleted. But she has so many bikini posts online already. What?
Was she claiming that she's
still
a
exists.
traditional?
Yeah, a conservative woman. Here, I'll show you. But this one's still on her Twitter, which is weird. 1 second. Oh, Matt is here too. Should we welcome him?
Yeah. Let's get this going.
Let's get this show on the road. Matt Alexander. Welcome to the Baptize machine. I'm Hans, and then that's the Wall Street bitch, or WSB, if you don't like to curse.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going?
Welcome.
Good,
Nice to meet
man.
you both.
Yeah, how are you doing? We were just looking at your website a little bit. Nice to meet you, too.
Thank you.
So yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah,
Ohio, kind of all over Ohio and and I'm currently in Kentucky. So
Is this for a story you're writing or campaign? Why are you traveling?
no, excuse me. There we go. TV just started making noise for
You're all
whatever
good.
reason. No, for my professional career.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Well, yeah, we were just looking at your website, and we thought we could start there with some of your more recent articles.
But
And
first,
yeah, Matt. First, Wall Street Bitch, do your thing you normally do when people introduce themselves.
I was just gonna say, first you want to start out just by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about who you are on social media and your news platform or news company, sort of its goal or, I guess not
Mission
motto,
statement.
but yeah, mission statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Alexander. I've just gotten into writing as a hobby a while ago. A friend of mine, Abby, her and I actually co-wrote an article for a different publication. I want to say it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and that kind of put my foot in the water. So I enjoyed it, and obviously there's a need for unbiased media
Yep.
out there, and so that's kind of what birthed American Daily Press, where we have gotten a lot of conservative writers. I myself am a conservative writer. In my own articles, I try and stay unbiased. It's it's hard to do in most cases, but I don't hide that I'm not that I don't hide the fact that I am a conservative writer.
Totally.
So obviously there is a vacuum within the news media for a vacuum for news that just produces the facts. So ADP's American Daily Press's motto is seeking and spreading truth. So we accept articles from everybody.
Awesome. What was that first article you wrote about that kind of got you going? With Samantha? Is that what you said? Or
With Abby. No,
Abby, sorry.
Abby Libby. She's on Twitter, very popular on Twitter. It was the 10 things you need to know about prepping.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
How do you envision we would need to prep? Like, what are we prepping for? What's the worst case scenario you see happening?
I mean, it could be anything, right? So, I mean, we've seen Florida getting hit, most recently North Carolina getting hit. I myself don't want to ever be in a situation where I cannot provide for my family. So that's kind of what I do for myself is basically surplus of food, guns, ammo,
Nice.
Cool.
medical equipment.
So do you? Oh, sorry, Hans. Were you going to say something?
I think we're both drinking a similar drink, some whiskey.
It's actually piss poor bourbon in the hotel bar.
There you go.
Nice. So Matt, yeah, I totally agree with you that there is a vacuum for non-biased, fact-based news. Do you find that when you present yourself that way, that the liberal side of our country or just the news conglomerates in general sort of just write you off and call you right-wing? Or
yes,
are you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I see, and I'm hoping that we're moving towards that style of news, and it shouldn't even be a style of news, but being more accepted and being sort of defined for what it actually is, as opposed to alt-right.
Yeah, so we just hit our 1
you
year
guys froze.
of operating, and in the 1 year, I want to say that we have had one submission on a pro-abortion article, and that was it. Everything else has been predominantly from conservatives. I myself have said it. The Twitter account has offered it to our followers, we welcome all types of articles as long as, the as long as the truth is there.
Yeah.
Is there any article that came out where you thought like, oh, I'm totally not going to agree with this article, but then it ended up changing your mind?
I'm pretty firm in my beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
through my faith. Um, there's been articles that come out that have taught me something, certainly.
Yeah.
So, and I want to bring it back to sort of like the news, I guess, environment. You do see it sort of changing, because I feel like conservatives since like the 50s and 60s haven't had a real voice. They haven't felt like they've been represented. We sort of lost the culture war in a sense, and media in general has sort of been taken over by liberalism. Do you
Not sort of. It
Shep?
is. It's completely taken over
Yeah.
by liberalism. Um, in fact, I do think it's a good sign that it's trending in the right direction. I mean, look at when Joe Biden, after his debate with Trump, there was a solid 2 weeks where every news media outlet was covering Joe Biden's decline. Granted,
Yeah.
it's the same people that ignored it for the previous 3 years, but there's that, and then the Wall Street Journal not
Yeah.
endorsing any candidate in particular. I mean, we know who they would endorse.
Yeah. Did you read
Their
Jeff
employee
Bezos?
donations.
Did you read his op-ed that Jeff Bezos wrote about non-biased news?
I did not.
It's interesting because he's saying that he wants to strive towards non-biased news and to gain the trust of the people back, because the people are putting their trust in podcasts, and he wants to reestablish, legacy news. And to do that, his
Yeah.
first step is to not endorse a president. Everyone was furious about this. But
His
I
next
think he's
step needs
moving
to
in
be
the
to
right direction.
fire everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And so, I mean, it's great that there's a trend moving in the right direction, because I think people have overwhelmingly seen the lies of the legacy media, and the average person sort of knows to fact check them now, which I think like 10 years ago, that wasn't, maybe not the case, especially
Yeah,
with context.
I agree. I think that I think the COVID pandemic did a lot of things in a lot of different areas of the way we live our lives in the world. It allowed for just the common person that watches CNN or MSNBC, and that's where they get their normal news, and then they see that it is a perfectly safe vaccine to get, and it will prevent you from getting COVID and spreading COVID. And then a month later, it was, no, we never said that it was going to prevent you from getting it. It said that it's going to prevent you from spreading it. And then another month later, I mean, we all saw how that went. And so I think that really kind of uh, planted that seed of not necessarily mistrust, but questioning everything that they're reading.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that sort of goes hand in hand with the rise of podcasts, YouTube, Twitter. Um, and
Certainly.
I think I do agree that it's really messy. Like a lot of wrong information goes around, but I think it's a necessary growing pain for like this new form of media to sort of grow out of it. Um, and I think legacy media is going to learn their lesson and hopefully start taking steps like the Washington Post.
I think it's going to take a while for that to happen, personally, but
Yeah.
it's insane to think that a social media platform is rated the #1 source for news. I mean, think about that. We've got the New York Post that had the Hunter Biden laptop story suppressed by every social media company, including Twitter at the time. We've had so many instances where social media is suppressing information until Elon Musk came in. And it's not perfect, but it is probably the more widely used free speech platform. I mean, we still see big conservatives getting suppressed for their information and opinions. So it still happens, but it's definitely a lot better. But for a social media company to be the #1 news source is insane.
Yeah, I agree. So where do you think it can improve? You said creators are still being censored in some way?
Yeah, I mean, there are accounts. You get accounts that have 1 million, 100,000 followers, and if their account gets suspended, it's happened to libs of TikTok plenty of times. Not so much recently, but it has happened where they get suspended. I don't really think that anybody should be suspended unless they're legitimately stoking violence.
Do you think that are you familiar with like Ken Klippenstein? He's an independent journalist. But he's the guy who leaked the JD Vance dossier that the Trump campaign had researched on him. And then he was suspended, but then he was reinstated, I think, like within a week. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, when somebody is being monetized by X, for example, that week suspension can have a huge impact.
Yeah, and I know he is, because then he started trying to direct people to his Substack, so it definitely had an impact on his finances.
And the reason Elon gave for that was apparently he doxed JD Vance's family and a few other people with pretty sensitive information. So that was his reasoning, and I understand that, but it didn't go over very well with a lot of people.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't. But I think that, I think that if you're gonna bring in a politic, like I don't want my family ever involved in anything commentary or my public opinions. I don't really think that posting information on the family and especially the children, I think that should just be frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would we want to support that? It's their right, especially being in the public eye, to be able to have that information. In my opinion, it is covered under free speech, but man, everybody that is pro speech should be wanting to turn away from him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
So we were looking at some of the articles you posted on your website. Is it AmericanDailyPress.com? Is that correct? I know.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yep. So I'll share my screen really quick, but you had one article about I guess she's a conservative influencer, Isabella Maria DeLuca, deleting some bikini picture or something on X, but then she still has this one up. And to be honest, I did not read the article, but I was wondering if we could get. And did you write it, or was that someone else? And then, kind of your thoughts on the
that
article.
one was not me.
Yeah,
that was from one of our contributors.
Okay.
Or it was a submission from somebody.
Okay, what was the synopsis of that article?
Testing my memory. Basically, that it was the opinion of that person was basically that that it was inappropriate.
And do you think it's inappropriate to, post bikini pictures on Twitter if they're or if they identify as conservative, or I guess
I don't.
regardless.
I would like a more modest society, personally. I mean, there's plenty of attractive women out there, but let's hold on some secrecy for marriage. I'm very pro-marriage, very pro-life, but you leave little to the imagination with some of the outfits that some of the women are
Yeah.
wearing publicly.
And then, did you have sex before marriage?
Myself, yes.
If you could go back in time, would you have not?
I'm pretty resolute in my stance that I wouldn't change a single thing in my past.
That's cool.
I've made a lot of mistakes, believe me. But those mistakes have led me to where I am today. So I really wouldn't change anything.
So is that, if when you look at American culture and American society, what are your like main sticking points that you're like, this is what I'm fighting to change for my kids? Do you have a few points like that?
Yeah, so I would like the fundamentals that makes America great. I would like for those fundamentals: freedom of speech, Second Amendment, second protects the rest. I'm very pro-gun. I'm very free speech. I those would probably be my two fundamentals: freedom of speech, Second Amendment, and then moving society back towards a more pro-life society. Because if we can't protect the innocent in the womb, then what the hell are we doing?
What about those stories you hear about like a girl, like, you know, a 13-year-old who's raped by her dad, and then like do you think they should have that kid then, even though it's incestuous and they were, you know, abused horribly?
I am 100% pro-life. Why are we going to counteract an evil with another evil? Why not counteract an evil with goodness?
Interesting. I don't totally agree with you, but appreciate your opinion on that. Yeah, and respect that.
A lot of people don't agree with the pro-life movement, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's why we can have this
unpopular
conversation and differing of opinions, right?
Yeah, totally, man.
I understand the thought process behind it, but are you surprised that the abortion issue is, I would argue, the number one issue in this election? Maybe not number one, but it is a deciding factor for a lot of voters. Is that surprising to you?
I think that the abortion issue is going to be a lot for the people in the middle, right? So the far left and the far right, and just the traditional Christian values that are typically seen in the right, not far right, but I think that abortion is going to be a big topic, along with, 45-year record inflation, border security. I myself live in Arizona. Border security is huge. Border security has actually gone from affecting the border states to the entire country.
Yeah.
Impacting all the people that have come here legally as well.
Yeah, it's a shame for the people that come here legally, and then they get the most pissed off, I think, about illegal immigration, to be totally honest, because they did all this
I have a
work
friend of
for
mine
that.
who it took him 10 years to get his citizenship, and people are basically coming over
Yeah. You know,
just for fun.
Denver's the major city where we live by, and it's definitely a problem here because they were giving out like $5,000, preloaded debit cards to people as a sanctuary city, which did not really pan out well for them. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And there's just a lot more homeless people.
You're giving out $5,000 debit cards because it's coming from the taxpayers.
All of our tax dollar, mainly Colorado, but I'm sure some of the money's federal too.
True.
So when you vet the articles that you're putting out, I know there's a difference between opinion and then more fact-based reporting. Do you try to do a healthy mix of both? And then, if so, would you turn down a liberal writer who wrote an opinion-based piece?
As long as they're not, putting false information in there. Yeah, no, I wouldn't turn down. Like if, for example, a liberal writer wrote that if, I don't know, that if we move to a more pro-life society, that 70% of pregnant women are going to die, or some crazy statistic like that. I would like the information to be verifiable.
I see.
But everybody can have their own opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and you're actually living in a swing state, right? Arizona.
Yeah, as of the past 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, what has that been like? As someone from Colorado, I mean, our vote, in actuality, really doesn't count. Do you?
Maybe not for president and electoral, but in the municipal and smaller votes, your vote matters all the more.
Yeah, there's a lot of libertarian leaning people out in Colorado, I would say. They're kind of, maybe not.
I think some of the most important positions in state government is, your sheriff and your attorney general.
That is true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have 2 liberals.
Really? What does it feel like on the ground there? I'm hearing from both sides that it's an easy win for us. It's an easy win for us. Both sides are saying that. What are you seeing with the early vote? Are you following all the polls and the analysis, or are you sort of?
Oh yeah.
Can you give us your opinion on the outcome?
So historically, Republicans are election day voters. I think that there's astounding information coming out that a lot of the states, I mean, Arizona is definitely one of those where conservatives come out and vote on election day, but we're up like 150,000 conservative votes over the Democrats right now.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Huge. And that's the case in a lot of places. I think it's Michigan that is the only swing state that the Democrats are in the lead right now. I've been traveling all day, so I know that information changes by the hour, so I could be wrong on that.
Is that just compared to 2020, or are you comparing it to previous elections? Because I know COVID would affect, early turnout for Republicans more so. I mean,
don't get me started on the election laws that were violated during COVID, especially with the mass voting hubs. Arizona, for example, our election laws prevent something like that. And I don't have all that information, but I think that COVID screwed up a lot of things in a lot of people's lives, but I'm talking about historically, not just since COVID. Conservatives typically vote on election day, not early.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So the early voting news is hands down a good sign for Trump's side.
So far, yeah.
Okay.
I know that it can change on a dime, and the elections and polls all shift with the wind. So we're not going to know until election month is over.
Yeah. You think
And
it'll take a whole month?
yeah,
I think that both sides are gonna stretch it out as far as they can until they get the outcome that they want.
What
and
are your
are you?
thoughts on the? Oh, sorry. Go on, Wall Street.
I was just gonna say, are you at all concerned about the transfer of power in either direction? Is that something that you're thinking about, planning for? Because as far as I know, both sides have not flat out said that they will hand the keys over, you know, quote unquote, peacefully.
I
Are you?
would like I would like Kamala Harris to go on record and say that she is going to certify the election, no
Mm,
matter the results.
Well,
I'd like her to go on record with a single policy
mm,
that she intends to try and push through.
What do you think
But
about this post though, where like before
yeah,
everyone's this was out, he posted this morning, so you may have not seen it, but like,
I have not, Pennsylvania.
yeah,
yeah. Do you
I'd
see
love to
this
get
as
your reaction to
irresponsible?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, as irresponsible. I think that a lot of Trump's rhetoric is irresponsible. It's his opinion, though. He's entitled to it.
mm-hmm.
I would challenge it and say, show me proof that there's actual fraud going on or election interference. I mean, it was Pennsylvania that had the two ballot boxes burn, right?
Yeah, I think
Or was
Yeah.
that
I don't know
Or
if
was
I
Michigan?
that
saw that.
Washington? I know Washington maybe
It
had.
was Washington because the second one burned in Oregon.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, so not
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
just actually, I just live in this small town west of Denver, and just here, my ballot never came. I think it's because I was moving, and USPS just didn't forward. They don't forward ballots, I guess, is what I was told when I was at the election office. But they told me that like 30 ballots had been stolen from a neighboring town that probably has a population of like 3,000 people, and someone was going around stealing 30 ballots from mailboxes, which is kind of wild.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, in a town of 1,000 people or 30,000 people, that can make or break. I think that I forget which race it was, but the attorney general was decided by like a very small number.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in Arizona. I want to say it was. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, but I want to say it was either 80 votes or 800 votes. Very small number in retrospect.
And especially when you're in like a small town that might be the seat of the county, and only like 3,000 to 5,000
Yeah.
people live there. That could be huge. Which is
Yeah,
wild.
100%.
Yeah. I had a question. I just spaced out hard. That whiskey's strong. Oh, go on, Wall Street.
Oh, I was just gonna point out that you want Kamala to say she's going to certify the election with Trump not saying it, but she's vice president. It's her duty to ceremoniously, at least, be the one
Yeah.
to certify. So I understand what you're saying there.
Trump's a private citizen. He has no responsibility in this election except to win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And to be a gracious loser if he in fact does lose.
Right.
I hope not.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on 2020 then? Because I know occasionally Trump still, claims that. And honestly, we're pretty independent, like in the middle leaning, I would say. And speaking for myself at least, I don't know about Wall Street, but I don't really. It seemed like Biden won it to me.
Did you ever see the documentary 3,000 Mules?
No, I have not.
With Dinesh D'Souza?
No.
Or maybe it's 2,000.
I'll look it
Some
up real
thousand
quick.
mules. It's pretty crazy. I mean, in the documentary, they were able to track
2,000
via
mules.
cell phone. 2,000?
Yeah.
So they were able to track an individual via cell phone within like 12 feet of a ballot box, going to multiple ballot boxes, and then they have people on camera dropping off multiple ballots. Was there incredible election fraud that would alter the outcome of the election? I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't look enough into it. I think that there is enough reasonable doubt to question it. I'm sorry if that gets you censored on YouTube. I
No.
think there's
Well,
enough
actually,
to
we did have
question it.
we did have the QAnon shaman, and then put those episodes on YouTube, and both got quickly deleted.
Okay.
It's okay. Our main
Did
focus
Joe
is-
Biden? What's that?
I said it's all right. Our main focus is X, so we don't care if it gets taken down from YouTube.
Fair enough. X and Rumble are the places to be. But is there widespread voter fraud that would have altered Trump as the rightful president, the heir to the throne, if you will? I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. But I think that there is enough to question, just based on that documentary alone. There's enough to question. And I think that all those legal challenges that all the candidates have done, Kerry Lake did it, Trump did it. Plenty of people have challenged their local courts, but I think that they get in front of some biased judges and things don't go their way. I concede that Biden is, way too late now, but I concede that Biden is the president. But I think that there's a lot of questions that need to be asked about election processes. First of all, the big tagline that the media is using is that the 2020 election was the most free and fair, or most free and secure election ever. So my question to that is, okay, point to me the election that was less free and less secure. That's all I want to know. If this was the most free one, that means that all of the other ones are less free and less secure. That's my question. Plus, I love a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Me too. I would say Bush v. Gore. You could argue that Gore definitely won with that whole Florida incident, but
the hanging chads.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was fraud. But yeah, the way the media dehumanizes Trump and their rhetoric around "we need to stop him" or "democracy's over, the world is going to end."
Yeah,
it really opens the door up to, we need to do anything possible to stop this person. So
yeah,
and we've seen the result of rhetoric like that.
Exactly.
Even if you look in Colorado, Matt, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jenna Griswold. She's the one who originally got Trump off the ballot, but then the court ruled that he had to be put back on the ballot. Yeah. And then she got this lady named Tina Peters, I think, in the 4 years ago in the last presidential election. She's actually in jail for 10 years because she's on the western slope where it's more conservative in western Colorado. And she's in jail for messing with the machines. But then apparently on the website Jenna Griswold was in charge of, they leaked to log into the Colorado voter machines, you need 2 passwords, and they leaked 1 password of the 2, which is, and she's still in office somehow.
She just did something else today that was super sketchy. Elon Musk retweeted it.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty into national news now, but yeah, really weird stuff going on. I think on both sides, in my opinion, just I don't know who to trust.
Yeah, no, that's at the end of the day, we are our own fact checkers, so we can't even trust the fact checkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like there's too much information out there with no restriction on. I'm all for free speech, but the fact that anyone can claim to be a journalist and then just totally make up shit on both sides is just, it confuses everyone else a lot, I think, and isn't the best for people.
No, the citizen journalist moniker is really taking its toll on the industry as a whole.
How do you think we combat that? Because we're all kind of doing similar things. I mean, we try to not say or claim anything unless we think it or know it's true. But what could people do better?
I
Or
mean,
journalists do
myself,
better?
I've seen information that I was like, oh wow, that's crazy to hear, and then it turns out that it was fake. So, personally, I try and if I hear something that seems crazy or just not right, I try and find the correct answer myself, and that's even hard to do nowadays. I mean, with the suppression tactics of big tech, I mean, it's you look at the Joe Rogan and Trump thing. Like, it's still hard to find that on YouTube. Allegedly, I haven't done it myself, but I've seen plenty of videos of people screen sharing Trump Rogan, and you don't find them. You see Trump videos, you see Rogan videos, but you don't find Trump and Rogan. Maybe that's changed in the past couple days, but it's not easy to disseminate disinformation anymore.
Yeah, but I do think that a certain number of people are getting really, really good at doing the research, checking their sources, and those people that are really good at it are going to rise to the top and gain more trust. And I see that happening more. There's some solo influencers who they lay out their process, and people respect that they're doing the work and they trust what they're reporting. And if they mess up, they report it and say, hey, this is why this was wrong. And I think those people will continue to build trust with the public, which is ideally how, this situation gets less messy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're right. There needs to be some good people that put in the work. And realistically, I don't want to get to a point where I just blindly trust anybody, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we got into the debacle with CNN and the Washington Post and New York Times. I still have a family member that brings me anti-Trump stuff from the New York Times, and I'm thinking, like, we're good on toilet paper. I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have a guest of the show named April Brucker, Matt, if you want to stay on to talk to her at all. She's a former Playboy model who now has I think she's left leaning. She has a Donald Trump puppet, if you're interested in seeing that at all.
I think I'll pass.
Okay.
I've had a very long day. But if I can offer to your audience, check us out. We are always willing to take submissions from people. And left-leaning, right-leaning. We have a couple shows. A couple of them are on hiatus right now. Looking for a host for one of our shows, but just check out our Twitter page at US Daily Press, and then AmericanDailyPress.com. And yeah, you can get all of our contact information.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on, Matt. Hopefully we can do this again, and I know we might be joining you on election night at some point.
Yes, that's another thing. Election night, we are doing a X space. I still call it Twitter, but Twitter/X space from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Arizona time. So
awesome.
Going to get you guys in there. And then we've got a pretty good lineup of guests.
We appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Matt.
All right.
Thanks for coming on, and have a good night. Get some rest.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, Wall Street bitch. We got April Brucker on. Hey, April.
Hey, April.
Hey, I just had to let my dog out real quick. What's up?
Not too much. How are you doing?
Good. So what's this I hear about you guys having some conservative dude on? Did he run off?
Yeah, he had to leave. He's traveling and he's tired. You know, those conservative men don't last as long as
No. No, those
Independence? I don't know.
conservative dudes, they keep, here's the thing. They say, "Oh yeah, I'm a real man. I'm a real man." But
Hmm.
then, because they don't believe in science, they get tired quicker. They don't eat as well. So yeah, he obviously got tired.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Welcome back.
how's it been since we last talked to you? Did you vote yet?
Yes, I did. I voted for Kamala. Who
Nice.
did you guys vote for? You can tell me. I won't be mad.
I voted
I
for a
haven't voted
woman.
yet.
But you voted for the woman. Okay, there you go.
A woman, not Kamala, but I
Oh
did
yeah.
vote for a woman, a different
Was
woman.
this Jill Stein, or was it the libertarian chick?
It was Jill Stein. I think the libertarian's a guy. I'm just like anti-war, and we live in Colorado, so our vote on the federal level doesn't really matter so much.
You know what? But you still voted. I think I think Dr. Stein is actually saying some good things, and I think that they should have let her debate.
They should have. I agree. They should have let her debate. They should have let RFK debate. I mean,
Yeah.
more choices, I think, is better for everyone.
And also, just like it just opens up the pool, because the two-party system is broken, but everybody here is ready for the election. But who is the Wall Street bitch voting for? That's what I want to know.
Honestly, and I'm
decide
being dead
tomorrow.
honest, I flip back and forth every day. I haven't voted yet, but I'll probably play it safe and either vote for Jill Stein or I don't know. I don't know if I can cast my vote for Kamala. I
Why
mean,
is
I'm in the
that?
state that she's going to win anyway.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like in the end, you got to vote no matter where your conscience goes. And we all
Yeah.
voted for different people, and that's what America's about. Or we're voting for different people, but you vote, yeah. But, but I have a candidate here who wants to say hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mr. Tramp. How
Yes.
are you?
Tramp.
I'm doing great. As a matter of fact, I took a shot to the ear in April. You look so good. Will you take a shot to the face?
Does he have a bandage?
Do you have a bandage? I had one a few months ago. Got my ears all sewed up. Reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. I'm not ready to hang it up and become a car sharing just yet. And so, former President Tramp, these guys, the Wall Street bitch is undecided. Why should he vote for you? Well, I'm master of everything. I have billions and billions of dollars. I'm hosting my own successful reality TV show, and I was president of my own university. Tramp University, you were sued for fraud. Shut up, A girl. We have a AAA rating. Wait, the Better Business Bureau gave you a AAA rating? Wrong. A triple K rating. KKK.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Speaking
definitely.
of racial
I would
jokes,
not be voting in support of Trump. I'll tell you that much.
So he's not voting in support of you. What can you say to make him support you? Well, when I'm in charge, we're going to have hot women working in the White House. Hot women, and what are you going to say to them on the first day of orientation? Daddy's home. It's time for your spanking.
what do you So April, based on your kind of racial and misogynistic jokes, what do you think about the reaction to the Kill Tony guy at the Trump rally? Because that's been in the news.
Here's the thing. I didn't like the jokes, obviously. I don't agree with the sentiment of the jokes, but I also thought the idea of booking a comedian up front was kind of odd. And he's not a guy, like, he's more of a writer, and he's more of he's not a comedian that you should give the bullet spot to. And I say this as somebody who actually does well in the bullet spot because I'm high energy. He's not a guy that you would give the bullet spot to, like I wouldn't as a producer. And also, you have the Tucker Carlsons there. You have then people whose kids have been killed by gangs. And, it's kind of like a weird speaker. It's an open mic, and then Trump comes up. So I guess I'm wondering, maybe they wanted the 25-year-old male vote. But I guess I'm
It was a
wondering
weird
what
move.
the. Yeah, it was a weird move. It just was weird.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's a roast comedian. So when you see Tony, you know that you're at you have to know that you're at a roast. Like if you're at the roast of Snoop Dogg and you see him, okay, that's Tony Hinchcliffe. But you're at Madison Square Garden. And what did you think of him, Mr. Tramp? Well, I thought that I don't know him. That's what I thought. So are you going to be on Kill Tony? Yes. And it's going to be huge, just like my hands.
Is he going on Kill Tony, Trump?
Would you go on? Are you going on Kill Tony? Not unless that loser invites me. So you're calling him a loser? Yes, he's a loser because he hasn't invited me on Kill Tony. Is he your least favorite comedian, though? No, I have two least favorite comedians. Two least favorite comedians. Who's your first? John No Show Stewart. Okay, why don't you like John Stewart? Well, we were in Milwaukee this summer. True story. We went to Milwaukee, and as Trump had his assassination attempt. So Donald J. Trump was there. It was the day of the assassination attempt, and anyway, the Daily Show set up. So the next day after the news broke, the Daily Show didn't show up. So he doesn't like Jon Stewart. And who else don't you like? Bill Less Than Marvelous. You mean Bill Maher? No, Bill Less Than Marvelous. That's right. He also canceled his appearance after everything. And P.S. The the would-be assassin was from my hometown. He was from 3 blocks away from where I lived.
Really? Did you know him?
I didn't know him, no, but my uncle had him in school. We had the same guidance counselor, who's a nice guy. But but his house is literally 3 blocks away from my parents. So,
Wow.
but Mr. Tramp, what do you have to say to that? Well, I have to say once again, I took a shot to the ear in April. You look so good. I still think that you should take that shot to the face. But you didn't die, which is good. But Tony Hinchcliffe did.
Wait, so are you talking about the assassin in Florida? He's from your town?
No, I'm talking about the one in Butler this summer.
Oh, okay, the original one.
Yes, the original.
OG.
That's crazy.
Well, I think I'm like Kennedy. And what do you think of RFK Jr.? Well, he's not the only Kennedy with a hole in his head.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
I'll be here all week. And I'll be following Tony Hinchcliffe. But this is my whole thing about that, though. After seeing that set, because his podcast is essentially about comedians bombing, right? Is it going to be the same now since he bombed so badly at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, it's a good point. He did. He pretty much just totally bombed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone thought it was funny.
So, what did you think, Mr. Tramp? Well, I think that he should go to London. Why do you think he should go to London? Because that's the last time somebody with a British-sounding name gonged that badly. Oh! That was really bad, Mr. Tramp. Well, you're the one that wrote that joke. So who's gonging worse? Tony Hinchcliffe or me right now?
So where does Mr. Tramp perform in Vegas?
Yeah, he performs in Vegas, and he was, like I said, at Milwaukee this summer. And because Bill Maher dropped out, because Jon Stewart pulled out, like his father should have. Okay, Mr. Tramp, that was mean. We were the only comedians at the RNC. And we were really
Wait, say that again?
Because Jon Stewart pulled out, Bill Maher pulled out, we were the only comedians this summer in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention.
Ah. Interesting. I didn't realize that Mr. Tramp went to the RNC.
Yep, he went to the RNC, and what did you say? He's the other dummy running for president.
Do you have a Kamala character or yet or no?
Well, actually, she entered the race so late that by the time I could get one, the election would have been over because I wanted her custom made. But what do you have to say
Mhm.
about your opponent? When did she turn black? Any questions for me? Yay, girl. When did you turn white? I've always been white. No, 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 no. When did you turn white? Wall Street glitch. When did you turn white? That's kind of rough. That's really rough. But Mr. Tramp was on
I
a
did.
program called Kyle and Jackie O. It's an Australian program. And it was the week of iHeartRadio. And what did you say? The Black Crows? I knew them when they were the White Crows.
Interesting. We both turned white around the same time as Michael Jackson.
Oh, back in the 80s, back in the early 90s.
Yep. Yeah, it was weird.
Well, but one funny thing, and this is a weird thing too, is we marched with the RNC in Milwaukee, and Donald J. Tramp has gotten threats in the past. So the puppet had a bodyguard. He had a bodyguard. I kid you
What was
not.
the bodyguard?
The bodyguard was a retired city of Milwaukee undercover police officer who was built like a tank.
Wait,
So
for
the,
real?
yeah, the
Do you have a
puppet had a
pic- do you have a-
bodyguard. For real.
Do you have a picture of the puppet and bodyguard you could send us at some point?
I will a little later, but he doesn't like his picture leaked because of his job. He likes to, in case he's got to be undercover. But it was pretty funny because anytime I would run somewhere, he would run. But his job was to protect the puppet. So if I was shot, you can always get another ventriloquist, right?
Oh my god.
Who's
That's
your
funny.
favorite
So
ventriloquist?
did people actually try to attack him?
Oh yeah, people have threatened him. People have wanted him dead. There was one guy who, I kid you not, he got into a fight with Donald J. Tramp at the RNC in 2016. And he had the handlebar mustache. He looked like a presidential assassin. And he comes up to us and he goes, "Why do you hate Trump?" And I was with Stand Together Against Trump and I had my talking points. He goes, "I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him." So he gets into an argument with Donald J. Tramp. Of course, my manager, Clinton Ford Billups Jr., is feet away. Okay, feet away. And he's trying to get a cop because there were a lot of cops in Cleveland, and they see this guy arguing with Donald J. Tramp and they start laughing. And he goes, "If that's how you feel about it, fine." And he walks away, he stomps away. But Mr. Tramp, what do you intend to do if you win? I intend to go to wall and have Mexico pay for it. Really? All I have to do is go to the Western Union and pick up the money order. What could possibly go wrong? But anyway, you asked who my favorite ventriloquist was, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, I obviously love Jeff Dunham, Edgar Bergen, but I love Otto Peterson. He was my favorite, and I was blessed to say that I worked with Otto before he passed away.
What was his signature thing? Is he known for anything?
Oh yeah, he's known for being probably one of the dirtiest working ventriloquists in our lifetime.
Oh wow. I gotta look him up.
Are there ventriloquist gatherings?
Oh yeah, there's a ventriloquist convention. There's a ventriloquist museum in my book. Don't Read My Lips is in there. But Mr. Tramp, who's your favorite ventriloquist? My favorite ventriloquist is April Brucker. What? That's great, but why am I your favorite? Because of you, I'm transgender. Transgender? Why are you transgender because of me? Because I'm a man and you're a woman and you're putting words in my mouth and I'm having a gender identity crisis.
You should have him go through a transition and become a female tramp.
Yes.
That would be fun.
That would. So, but do you like the LGBTQ community? I love the BLTQ community. I mean, you're fisting me now. Duh. So, but what are you going to say if people don't like your jokes? I'm going to say that Tony Hinchcliffe wrote my material.
It sounds he might start the ventriloquist act, Tony.
Actually, and I'd have to say this. I don't agree with his politics, but he's a very smart businessman. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I mean, as a comedian, I've seen Kill Tony. These people just want to humiliate themselves for their 5 seconds of fame. And you know what? There's a sucker born every minute. So if he can make money off of them, good for him. But I just question, I just question the whole idea of booking him at that thing. I'd want to know who booked him and what possessed him to take that gig. Like, why didn't somebody talk him out of that?
Yeah, I wonder if Trump fired him or fired the person who hired him.
Did you fire the person who hired him? No, I gave them a promotion. Why's that? Because every time a speech doesn't fly, I say Tony Hinchcliffe wrote it.
Yeah, that's actually a good cover.
April, any last words? We have a hard stop tonight. Wall Street bitch had an emergency dinner come up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some last words from Mae Wilson.
Okay.
Hello, boys.
May's back. Hi.
I know it's a little early, but April and I have a new song. It's called Merry Christmas. I'm so glad that I didn't marry you. And it's available on all major streaming platforms. That's right. And as of today, the music video is available on Tidal and Apple Music.
Who's it about?
It's about all the guys. It's a love letter to all the dating duds at Christmas past. Like all those guys that April dated without a J-O-B. Yeah. She gave them a V, J-O-B, when they didn't have a J-O-B. You don't give somebody a VJ without a job. Duh.
Do you that's fair. Do you have do you mind if we use the song for our intro when we get this episode posted on Spotify? Yeah.
We would absolutely love that. What do you think, May? Not only would I love that, but I didn't even have to work the casting couch for this one.
Wonderful. And here's our outro song by Pickle Walks. Thank you so much, April Brucker.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.